Hello, my motor enthusiasts. We have a riveting drama unfolding at Red Bull in Formula One. A power struggle is brewing between the Austrian and Thai sides of the organization, with our man in the middle, team principal Christian Horner. Following a public statement about an internal issue, whispers of the conflict being part of a larger battle for control have surfaced. Key players in this saga are none other than Red Bull's Motorsport advisor, Helmut Marko, and the Verstappen family, who are expressing their own views on the matter. The plot thickens as major partners Ford and Oracle become embroiled. Amidst concerns of negative publicity and fears of losing Horner's influential support, anonymous emails with alleged evidence have been circulated among senior figures in Formula One. With Jos Verstappen, Max's father, voicing his displeasure with Horner, speculation about the Verstappens eyeing other teams is rife. Mercedes, with a vacant seat for 2025, might be in the running, according to rumors. The final act of this drama is yet to unfold, and we're all on tenterhooks to see if Horner retains his position or if Verstappen might switch teams. A hair-raising situation, isn't it? Hey there, fellow motor enthusiasts. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Enzo.
And I'm your co-host for the day, William.
We're here every day on the F1 Motor Fever podcast channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now, let's go full throttle. This Red Bull saga is certainly the talk of the town. Underneath all the speculation, it's tricky to grasp what's truly happening behind the scenes with Christian Horner. Ever since the controversy first exploded last month, there's been chatter that it goes beyond an internal issue involving Horner and a staff member. From the get-go, the rumor mill has been churning with talk of a broader power play involving key management pillars within the Red Bull organization. The fact that Austrian energy drink company Red Bull GmbH, the owners of the team, issued an official statement was a bit unexpected. For a brand typically known for keeping their cards close to their chest, going public with this situation certainly raises eyebrows. As the saga unfolds, it's grown into something much larger, a battle for control and influence between the Austrian side of the company and its majority Thai owner, Chalem Uvidya. Somewhere in the midst of all this is Red Bull's Motorsport advisor Helmut Marko and the Verstappen clan, with Max and Jos. Quite a dramatic plot, isn't it? Adding to the intrigue, we mustn't forget the influence of Red Bull F1's key partners like Ford and Oracle. It's unclear which side of the fence they're on. There's been talk of boardroom angst over the potential for brands to be tarnished by the Red Bull racing mess. But others suggest the main concern is actually the potential loss of Horner, whose influence and appeal were key factors drawing them in to begin with. For a few hours, post Red Bull's Wednesday announcement that Christian had been cleared by an independent investigation, it appeared things might calm down, with attention swiftly returning to the team's on-track performance. However, this was short-lived, with the arrival of anonymous emails to senior F1 personnel, including FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem, F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali, team directors, and media. These emails contained a trove of WhatsApp messages and images purportedly key to the investigation. While the authenticity of this dossier is unconfirmed, and although there are murmurs of a second document dump, the real significance is that it shows individuals are now actively maneuvering to topple Horner. The real question, though, is who and why. Whoever this is, they must have close ties to the Red Bull organization and team, either professionally or personally, to have access to the evidence allegedly handed to investigators for review. It's a real motorsport thriller, isn't it? Alright, for those of you just tuning in, we've been delving deep into the ongoing saga surrounding the Red Bull racing team. A power struggle seems to be brewing within the team, involving key figures like Christian Horner and the team's majority Thai owner Chalem Uvidya, amidst rumors of potential repercussions on Red Bull F1's key partners, such as Ford and Oracle. In the midst of it all, there's been the release of anonymous emails to senior F1 personnel containing alleged evidence from an independent investigation. These events point to a potential power play to topple Horner. It's a complicated situation, shrouded in uncertainty and speculation. Quite the thriller, wouldn't you agree?
Indeed, it's a plot thick enough to challenge any Hollywood scriptwriter. One can only wonder how this is going to impact the team's performance on the track.
Absolutely, the track might just become the stage for this power play. Let's continue, shall we? Adding another twist to this tale, we move to Jos Verstappen, who's known for not always seeing eye to eye with Horner on various things since Max joined the Red Bull organization. His dramatic comments made to the Daily Mail on a Saturday night certainly leave no doubt that he's part of the group who wants Horner out. However, this doesn't necessarily mean he's the one who leaked the so-called evidence. There's tension here as long as he remains in position, Jos stated. The team runs the risk of being ripped apart. It can't continue as it is. It will explode. He's playing the victim when he's the one causing the problems. However, we should note there's a big difference between wanting something to happen and being a perpetrator to make it happen. Jos has also made efforts to distance himself from the idea that he's behind any defamation campaign or the emails sent. That wouldn't make sense, he added. Why would I do that when Max is doing so well here? Whether he's a passenger or driver and everything going on isn't clear at the moment. But the events are putting Jos in a position to capitalize on the possibility of a change at Red Bull. And amid the crisis within the world champion team, it's also opened up opportunities for others to come out on top in the Piranha Club that is F1. Perhaps one of the most interesting theories being discussed right now is that what's happening at Red Bull involves a true power play around the team's senior contracts and the long-term future of Red Bull itself in F1. It's widely accepted that Horner's presence at Red Bull has been a key element in giving many of the team's senior staff a sense of security. In fact, it's known that several high-ranking staff have clauses in their contracts allowing them to leave if Horner does. It's all a bit of a chess game, isn't it?
Hold on a tick. Let's not forget about the potential ramifications this could have for the drivers as well. If Horner exits, this could indeed open doors for individuals to leave their current team, either to renegotiate terms or to move elsewhere. From Max Verstappen's perspective, becoming a free agent could allow him to sign a new contract on more favorable terms, whether that's more money, better marketing rights, more flexibility. He is, after all, a much bigger star now than when he first signed his contract. Or there might even be the prospect of moving elsewhere to carve a new path in his career. After all, Jos's comments make it almost untenable now for his son and Horner to continue without something changing. And if the rumours are to be believed, as F1 moves towards the new engine rules in year of 2026, and there's a shift in competitive order, with potentially Red Bull's power unit not delivering the kind of performance other manufacturers are set to achieve. Well, Max might be skeptical of the Red Bull Powertrains Ford project for 2026 and be eyeing a team switch in light of the new engine rules. If Horner leaves, and Max indeed has a clause allowing him to exit Red Bull, could Mercedes be in his sights? The German manufacturer was interested in Verstappen when he was in the junior categories, but lost out to Red Bull because they couldn't offer him a place in F1 at the time, because of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. The fact that the Dutchman slipped through Mercedes' fingers a while ago is playing on Mercedes chief Toto Wolff's mind and influencing his desire not to let junior Andrea Kimi Antonelli slip away from the Mercedes structure. Quite the situation. Wouldn't you agree?
And what did Wolff have to say about Red Bull signing Verstappen? In his own words, "We lost the young driver, and you can see how successful he's become." With Mercedes having a cockpit available for the year 2025, and it possibly being too early for Antonelli, Mercedes would clearly leap at the chance to bring Verstappen on board. He'd be a superstar replacement for Hamilton, with the speed and global popularity that would act as a tremendous boost for the German brand. Moreover, if Mercedes could snatch one of Red Bull's biggest assets, it would grow stronger and its rival weaker. A double whammy. It possibly wasn't a coincidence that, in the paddock, just after Red Bull displayed its dominant performance at the Bahrain Grand Prix, Jos Verstappen was seen having a deep conversation with Wolff. There have also been rumors of a dinner on Friday night, even though Wolff insists he isn't plotting to lure Verstappen to the team. For now, Horner's situation is an unknown variable, and it's tough to predict whether he'll stay or not, especially if the campaign to discredit him becomes more aggressive in the coming days. And no matter how stubborn Horner is about staying in his position, his fate will almost certainly be decided in the meeting rooms of Red Bull and its corporate sponsors, who will be paying close attention to everything that's going on. And Wolff, he's watching from the outside and will not be blind to the possibility that circumstances might hand him an unexpected gift. Quite the turn of events, wouldn't you say?
But, on the other hand, Wolff knows he needs to get his house in order, because while Verstappen might be attractive to Mercedes, Max's desire to go there won't be as high if the Silver Arrow's F1 car can't perform better. Wolff himself was asked on Saturday night in Bahrain if there was a chance of Verstappen driving for Mercedes in 2025, and he gave a carefully considered response. "I think the driver will always choose the fastest car," he said. "That's fundamentally what it comes down to. Right now, Red Bull is the fastest car, so that will obviously be the priority. Read that response however you like." But it wasn't a no. The question now is, what can F1 do to make Max's dominance not uninteresting? That's a topic for another day. And remember, we all thought the same about the dominance of other drivers in the past, didn't we?
Let's switch gears a little, William. Have you had a gander at the latest chatter online?
I have indeed. Let me share an interesting post from Timmy Monty. Quote, "Max's contract with Red Bull is void if Helmut Marko retires or leaves Red Bull. Marko notes he will not stand in the way of Max," unquote. Seems like the rumors are brewing again.
Oh, the old rumor mill never stops, eh? Any reactions worth sharing?
Yes, let's see. Baron von Kickerberg responded, quote, "I'm assuming it's a translation issue, but surely it must be that if Marko leaves, Max has an option to exit the contract early, not that it's void. If Marko has a health problem and retires mid-season, it's not like Max is suddenly a free agent. There's no way Red Bull lawyers would agree to that," unquote.
Anyone else chime in?
Yes, Hazel Skull provided some translation clarification. Quote, "The German text is incredibly sensational. It suggests Marko will leave himself to clear the road for Max if he wants to. The article supposes that they'd retire," unquote. Quite the discussion it sparked.
Any other noteworthy comments?
A user named Skinner said, quote, "Thanks. Now I'm imagining Marko at Mercedes," unquote. And this was followed by a humorous response from Low Profile 14, quote, "Now why the hell would you do that to yourself?" unquote.
Ha! It's always a laugh diving into these internet comments. Well, it's clear the fans have their own opinions about the whole situation.
Absolutely, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. But it's always good to keep a finger on the pulse of the fans' thoughts, isn't it?
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast. We've delved into the dynamic terrain of F1, discussed the ins and outs of the previous race, and even took a dive into the ever-entertaining online discussions. A massive thank you to all our listeners. Your continued support means the world to us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to activate those notifications so you never miss an episode. Share our podcast with your mates, your F1 fan groups, and hey, why not bring us up at the dinner table?
Absolutely, Enzo. And remember, folks, we're here every day, serving up tantalizing discussion and heart-pounding analysis. And let me tell you, we've got some cracking episodes on the horizon, so stay tuned. Don't be shy in the comments either. We love hearing from you all.
Hear, hear, William. We can't wait for you to join us for the next episode. But until then, remember our motto. Pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road. Our channel's content is pure gold.